Have you ever noticed how some people seem to age more gracefully than others? They walk with ease, their eyes still sparkle with energy, and they always seem to have a gentle smile on their face. Maybe you've met someone like that and thought, what's their secret? Well, you might be surprised to learn that it's not about expensive supplements or complicated diets. Often it comes down to something much simpler: the food they eat every day. Let me take you to a small island in Japan called Okinawa. It's often referred to as the land of immortals, because people there routinely live well into their 90s, and many even past the 100-year mark. But it's not just about the number of candles on their birthday cake. It's about how they live, active, independent, and full of life. And one of their biggest secrets, it's what they put on their plates. You see, the traditional Japanese diet, especially in places like Okinawa, is filled with foods that not only nourish the body but also help it age well. And the good news is, you don't have to move to Japan to enjoy these benefits. You can start right in your own kitchen. So let's take a look at 5 powerful foods that could help you live a longer, healthier life. These are everyday ingredients that the Japanese have been eating for generations, and they just might become your new favorites too. Let's begin with a food that comes straight from the sea. It might not be something you're used to eating every day, but once you hear about its benefits, you might want to give it a try. I'm talking about seaweed. That's right, those green strands you sometimes see in miso soup or sushi rolls. In Japan, seaweed isn't just a garnish. It's a staple. Seaweed is packed with minerals, especially iodine, which supports healthy thyroid function. That's important because your thyroid helps regulate your metabolism, energy levels, and even how well you sleep. And as we age, keeping our metabolism steady becomes more and more important. But seaweed doesn't stop there. It's also rich in antioxidants that help protect your cells from damage and keep inflammation down, a key factor in aging well. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Where do I even find seaweed? The good news is that you can find dried seaweed in most grocery stores these days. Try adding a little to your soup, sprinkle it on a salad, or even mix it into rice. And if you're feeling adventurous, look for wakame or nori varieties. Both are mild in taste and easy to use. There's a woman in Osaka named Mariko. She's 84 years old and still bikes to the market every morning. When asked about her secret, she laughed and said, "Seaweed with my breakfast for 40 years. It's a simple habit, but one that's clearly worked for her." Now, while we're talking about what people in Japan drink with their meals, there's one thing that almost always shows up on the table. And it's not soda, juice, or even water. It's green tea. Not the sugary bottled kind, but the real stuff, steeped from leaves and served warm, often without sweetener. Green tea is more than just a comforting drink. It's loaded with compounds called catechins. These are natural antioxidants that help reduce inflammation and protect the heart. Studies have shown that people who drink green tea regularly may have a lower risk of heart disease and even certain types of cancer. And let's not forget the mental boost. Green tea contains just enough caffeine to help with focus and alertness, but not so much that it causes jitters or sleep problems. One of the best things about green tea is that it fits so easily into your routine. Have a cup in the afternoon instead of reaching for coffee. Sip it slowly while reading a book or share a pot with a friend. It becomes more than just a drink. It's a moment of calm, a habit of care. There's an old gentleman named Kenji who lives near Mount Fuji. He's 91 now and still teaches calligraphy classes. When asked how he keeps his hands so steady, he smiled and said, "Green tea and good breathing. It's the little things, done consistently, that make a difference over time." Let's pause for a moment here and reflect. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Even small changes, like adding a cup of green tea to your afternoon or sprinkling some seaweed on your soup, can have a big impact over time. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. The body responds to care no matter what age you are. And here's something important to remember. These foods aren't just for physical health. They also play a role in emotional well-being. When you feel better, you move more. When you move more, you sleep better. And when you sleep better, you think more clearly. It's all connected. Sometimes we think getting older means giving up certain things: energy, flexibility, strength. But in truth, it can be a time to gain new habits that help us feel better than we have in years. Eating well is one of the kindest gifts you can give yourself, especially now. So, if you're ready to take the first step toward living longer and feeling better, try starting with the seaweed and the green tea. You don't have to love them right away. Just get curious. Try them a few times, see how your body feels, and let your taste adjust. You might be surprised by how naturally they fit into your life. Now that we've talked about these first two powerful foods, let's keep going, because there are more simple ingredients from the Japanese kitchen that can help support your body, protect your heart, and even sharpen your mind. One of those ingredients is something you might already enjoy but may not have realized just how powerful it is. I'm talking about fish. Specifically, fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. In Japan, these kinds of fish are not just occasional treats. They're a regular part of weekly meals, and for good reason. Fatty fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. These are healthy fats that your body loves, especially your brain and heart. Omega-3s help reduce inflammation in the body, which becomes more important as we age. They also support memory, mood, and may even help slow down age-related mental decline. That means they don't just help your heart beat stronger, they can help keep your mind sharper too. If you've ever had days when you feel foggy or forgetful, or you notice your joints are a little stiffer than they used to be, adding more omega-3s to your diet could make a real difference. Many seniors in Japan eat fish at least 3 times a week. And the way they prepare it is just as important. Instead of deep frying or over-seasoning it, they usually grill, steam, or lightly pan-sear it. That way, the nutrients stay intact and the flavor remains light and clean. You don't have to cook anything fancy to get the benefits. A simple piece of grilled salmon with a squeeze of lemon, maybe served with some steamed vegetables or rice, is already a heart-healthy meal. Or if you're not into cooking, canned sardines in olive oil can be a quick and easy way to get those good fats. Just add them to toast or crackers and you're good to go. There's an old fisherman in Hokkaido named Ichiro. He's 87, still wakes up at 5 a.m. and takes his boat out to sea. When asked about his daily routine, he laughed and said, "Every day starts with fish and ends with fish." Now, you don't have to go that far, of course, but his long, active life speaks for itself. And speaking of colorful foods from Japan, there's another one that's both beautiful and incredibly nutritious. It's something you may have eaten before without realizing its special place in the Okinawan diet: purple sweet potatoes. These vibrant, violet-hued potatoes aren't just pretty to look at. They're packed with nutrients that can help your body age gracefully. Purple sweet potatoes are high in antioxidants, particularly one called anthocyanin, the same compound that gives blueberries their deep blue color. Antioxidants help fight off free radicals in the body, which can cause cell damage and accelerate aging. But that's not all. These sweet potatoes are also high in fiber, which supports healthy digestion and helps regulate blood sugar, something that becomes more important after the age of 60. What makes this food even more special is how filling and satisfying it is. The natural sweetness means you can enjoy it without needing to add sugar, and the fiber helps keep you feeling full longer. It's a wonderful alternative to processed carbs like white bread or pasta. In Okinawa, elders often enjoy purple sweet potatoes boiled or steamed, sometimes with just a touch of salt. They're soft, naturally sweet, and easy to digest, making them perfect for older adults. And the color alone adds a cheerful touch to any meal. It's amazing how something so simple can be so good for you. Imagine this. You've just finished your morning walk, the sun is rising, and you sit down to a light breakfast of steamed sweet potato slices and a cup of warm green tea. The pace is slow, the flavors are gentle, and your body feels nourished in the best possible way. That's not just food, it's peace on a plate. Now, there's one more food we need to talk about, something that plays a big role in Japanese cuisine and has some incredible benefits for aging bodies. It might surprise you, but it's a food that's been around for centuries and has stood the test of time. Soy. In Japan, soy shows up in many forms: tofu, miso, edamame, natto, and soy milk, just to name a few. It's one of the main sources of plant-based protein in their diet, and it's especially helpful for older adults who may need more protein to maintain muscle strength, but want to avoid heavy meats or difficult-to-digest foods. What's so great about soy? First, it's gentle on the body. It digests easily, and it provides essential amino acids that help repair tissues and keep your muscles strong. That's especially important as we get older because losing muscle mass can affect balance, strength, and independence. Soy also contains isoflavones, plant compounds that act a bit like estrogen in the body. For women after menopause, this can help balance hormones naturally and support bone health. And for men, don't worry. Eating soy in moderation won't mess with your hormones. In fact, studies suggest that soy may reduce the risk of heart disease and help lower cholesterol in both men and women. One of the best parts: soy is incredibly versatile. You can enjoy it in a warm bowl of miso soup, a few cubes of tofu in a stir-fry, or even a glass of soy milk with your breakfast. And if you've never tried natto, that's fermented soybeans, it might take a little getting used to, but many older Japanese adults swear by it for gut health and longevity. There's a woman named Imiko who lives in Kyoto. She's 94, still active in her garden, and her eyes light up when she talks about her daily bowl of miso soup. It warms the soul, she says. And maybe that's part of the secret. Not just the food itself, but the comfort and joy it brings. These foods, fish, sweet potatoes, soy, aren't magical cures, but they're consistent, nourishing, and rooted in generations of wisdom. They support the body gently, without harsh chemicals or trendy restrictions. They're simple but powerful. And isn't that what we're really after in this stage of life? Not just more years, but better ones. More mornings where we feel steady when we get out of bed. More afternoons with a clear mind and light energy. More dinners shared with loved ones, where the food not only fills us, but sustains us. When you look at the Japanese way of eating, it's not about perfection. It's about balance. It's about choosing foods that care for you one bite at a time. So as we move forward, take a moment to think about which of these foods might be easiest for you to add into your life. Maybe it's a simple piece of fish once or twice a week, or a warm bowl of miso soup in the evening. Maybe you try a purple sweet potato just once, and discover a new favorite. Whatever it is, just start. Your body will thank you. Your energy will reflect it. And little by little, you'll feel the difference. Not just in your health, but in your confidence, your outlook, and your everyday joy. And there's one more food I'd love to share with you. It's a quiet star in the Japanese diet. You don't often hear it mentioned in flashy health magazines or trendy diets, but it's always there. Steady, reliable, and incredibly good for you. I'm talking about seaweed. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Seaweed? Isn't that something that just washes up on the shore? But in Japan, seaweed is a treasured part of daily meals. It's not just a garnish or an afterthought. It's a mainstay, full of minerals, fiber, and antioxidants that are especially beneficial as we age. Seaweed is rich in iodine, a nutrient that supports thyroid health. And as we get older, keeping the thyroid functioning properly becomes more and more important. A sluggish thyroid can make you feel tired, cold, forgetful, even depressed. But with just a little natural iodine from seaweed in your diet, you're giving your body a gentle boost to keep things in balance. But that's not all. Seaweed also provides calcium and magnesium, both of which are vital for bone strength and muscle function. Many seniors, especially women, struggle with bone density loss. And while we often think of milk or supplements, seaweed offers these minerals in a form that's easy to absorb and kind to your digestive system. One type of seaweed, called wakame, is commonly added to soups and salads in Japan. It has a soft texture and a mild taste, not at all what you'd expect if you've never tried it. Another kind, nori, is what you'll often see wrapped around sushi, but it's also delicious toasted and crumbled over rice or soup. There's also something soothing about the way seaweed is prepared in Japanese cuisine. It's not rushed. It's soaked, rinsed, sometimes simmered gently. The process invites you to slow down, take your time, and be present with your meal. And honestly, isn't that part of the secret to a long, happy life? In Okinawa, I met a couple, both in their 90s, who began every day with a warm bowl of miso soup with tofu and seaweed. They sat at their wooden table, the window open to let in the morning breeze, and simply enjoyed the quiet moment. No phone, no rush, no multitasking. Just the simple joy of eating something nourishing together. And they were sharp, strong, and full of laughter. It's moments like those that remind me how much food and lifestyle go hand in hand. Now, the final food I want to share with you today isn't a specific ingredient. It's more of a category, but it's such an important part of the Japanese way of eating that I can't leave it out. I'm talking about fermented foods. Fermentation might sound like a complicated process, but it's actually something humans have been doing for thousands of years. In Japan, it's been perfected into a beautiful art, and it shows up in foods like miso, natto, pickled vegetables, and even soy sauce. Fermented foods are full of natural probiotics, those friendly bacteria that help keep your gut healthy. And as we now know, gut health is connected to almost everything: digestion, immunity, mood, even brain function. For older adults, this is especially valuable because the digestive system tends to slow down with age, and keeping things moving smoothly becomes essential to feeling good day to day. One of the most popular fermented foods in Japan is miso, a paste made from fermented soybeans. It's the base of miso soup, which is enjoyed daily by millions of people. Just a small bowl each morning can help support gut health, hydrate the body, and provide a sense of warmth and comfort. And it's surprisingly easy to make at home. Just miso paste, hot water, maybe a bit of tofu or seaweed, and you're done. Then there's natto, a bit more of an acquired taste. Natto is sticky, stringy fermented soybeans, often eaten over rice with a little soy sauce and mustard. It's packed with vitamin K2, which supports heart and bone health. Now, not everyone loves the texture or flavor, but for those who do, natto is one of the most powerful longevity foods out there. If natto isn't for you, don't worry. There are plenty of gentler options. Pickled daikon, fermented cabbage, and even simple cucumber pickles made in brine, not vinegar, offer similar benefits. The key is to eat a little bit regularly, not just once in a while. That's how the Japanese do it. A small serving with lunch or dinner, like a flavorful side dish that quietly does your body a world of good. It's the everyday choices that matter most, not the occasional health kick or diet plan. And that's something we can all take away from Japanese culture. There's no rush, no pressure to be perfect. Just small, steady steps. A bowl of miso here, a piece of grilled fish there, a cup of green tea instead of a sugary drink. These moments add up, not just in years but in quality of life. You don't need to move to Okinawa or learn how to make natto to benefit from these habits. You can begin with just one small change. Maybe you add seaweed to your soup once a week. Maybe you swap one processed snack for a sweet potato. Or try miso soup in the morning instead of toast and jam. Whatever feels doable, that's where you start. Because the truth is, it's never too late. Your body is still listening to you, still responding to every choice you make. You can nourish it, support it, and even surprise it. You can wake up feeling lighter, move through your day with more energy, and find joy in taking care of yourself in ways that feel calm and natural. The Japanese don't chase youth. They don't fear aging. They embrace it, with gentleness, with intention, and with food that supports them every step of the way. And so can you. Living longer isn't just about adding years. It's about adding life to those years. It's about feeling well, thinking clearly, and finding joy in the simple things. A warm bowl of soup. A walk in the morning light. Quiet meal shared with someone you love. So today, as you think about your next meal, ask yourself, what would nourish me? Not just fill me, but truly care for me. Start there. You deserve it. You know, when we talk about living longer, we often imagine years on a calendar, numbers ticking upward like a scoreboard. But the real beauty of longevity isn't in how long we live. It's in how fully we live. And that's what makes these simple foods from Japan so powerful. They're not magic. They're not part of some complicated health craze. They're just real, nourishing, honest foods that support the body, calm the mind, and gently carry you through each stage of life with grace. Whether it's the creamy richness of natto, the calming warmth of miso soup, or the earthy sweetness of a roasted Japanese sweet potato, these foods are more than ingredients. They're habits, they're traditions, they're gentle daily reminders to slow down and take care of ourselves, without guilt, without pressure, and without chasing perfection. Because at this stage of life, you've earned something more than just getting by. You've earned peace. You've earned joy. And you've earned the right to feel good in your own body, no matter your age. Maybe your joints aren't what they used to be. Maybe your energy dips some afternoons. That's okay. Aging isn't a flaw, it's a privilege. But what we do with each day, each meal, and each choice, that's where the magic is. One of the most inspiring things I've noticed in the older generations of Japan, especially in places like Okinawa, is not just how long people live, but how fully they live out those years. You'll see 90-year-olds gardening, laughing with neighbors, walking to the market, cooking meals from scratch. Not because they're trying to biohack their way into some fountain of youth, but because they enjoy the rhythm of life. They move, they connect, they eat well, and they savor the small things. And that's a lesson we can all take with us. You don't have to change everything at once. You don't need a perfect meal plan or a fridge full of exotic ingredients. Just begin with one small shift. Maybe it's adding a bowl of miso soup in the morning, or choosing fish over red meat once or twice a week. Maybe it's sprinkling a little seaweed over your rice, or simply slowing down and being present with your food. Those little changes, over time, become habits. Habits become routines. And routines, they shape your future more than anything else. The wonderful news is, your body is still listening, still responding, still healing. You may not see the difference overnight, but your cells notice. Your heart notices. Your brain, your muscles, your bones. They all feel the impact of even the smallest act of care. And if you ever feel discouraged, like it's too late to start or that you're stuck in your ways, I want to gently remind you. There are people in Japan who began walking daily in their 80s, who changed their diet in their 90s, who lived another decade or more. Not just longer, but happier, more connected, and more vibrant. It's never too late to make friends with your body again. To treat it kindly. To nourish it in ways that feel good. Not restrictive, not punishing, but loving. Because the goal isn't youth. The goal is vitality, presence, energy to do what you love, strength to carry your grandchild, clarity to enjoy a good book, and peace when you wake up in the morning knowing you're doing something good for yourself. So, as you take what we've shared today about sweet potatoes, fish, green tea, seaweed, and fermented foods, I hope you carry it with ease. These aren't rules. They're invitations. Chance to try something new. A reason to bring a little bit of joy and wellness into your day, one bite at a time. And if something you heard here today speaks to you, if it reminds you of a food you used to enjoy or makes you curious about something new, follow that spark. Try it. Share it with a friend. Make it part of your routine, even just once a week. You never know what small change might become your favorite part of the day. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. Is there a food from your childhood or culture that made you feel strong, loved, or deeply nourished? Share it in the comments. Let's learn from each other, because no matter where we come from, we all have something valuable to offer. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps others discover this kind of content. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more tips on healthy living, graceful aging, and small habits that make a big difference. Remember, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing this chapter of your life with power, peace, and purpose. Here's to your strength, your joy, and to living your best life, one delicious, nourishing meal at a time.